If you really want to be successful, if you really want to go all the way to the top in your profession, then you need to develop the ability to get results. In every single study of high-performing men and women, we find that intense result orientation goes hand in hand with big payoffs in life. You see, it's not how much time you put in or the activities that you engage in or how sincere or how intelligent or competent or capable or anything else. It's only what you produce, the results that you get from the time that you put in, that counts in determining your rewards, not only your psychic rewards, how good you feel about yourself, but your financial rewards. You're always paid in direct proportion to the quality and the quantity of the results that you produce. So let's start off talking about getting things done with point number one. Point number one is that your rewards in life will always equal your results. As we call this the law of sowing and reaping, the law of cause and effect, that the cause of everything that happens to you is your ability to get results, and these are your rewards. If you want to increase the quality and quantity of your rewards, you have to think all the time about increasing the quality and quantity of your results. Now, the second point is this, is that most people are very unproductive. Most people could not do a full day's work if their life depended upon it. In fact, every study that I've ever seen suggests that the average person works at only 50% of capacity. In fact, in most work environments, about 30% of all the work time is spent in socializing, gossiping, wasting time, talking, chit-chatting, hanging around the water fountain, reading the newspaper, drinking coffee, and so on. What does it mean to you? It means that if the average person is working at 50% or less of capacity, there are tremendous opportunities for you, if you'll do some of the things that we talk about, to rapidly move ahead of other people. Now, the third key, and we talked about it last time, is that the starting point of high productivity, the starting point of getting things done, is the quality of neatness. The quality of neatness means that you start with a clean desk and you end with a clean desk. You start with a clean briefcase and you end with a clean briefcase. You take the time to make sure that your entire working environment looks neat and professional and productive and effective. Remember this, it's not just what you do, but it's the perception of other people of what you do that counts. I read a story by a self-made millionaire who said that he built 5 successful companies, and one of their critical rules was that every single person kept a clean desk. Now, the fourth key in getting things done is the importance of focus. Focus, which leads to clarity. Now, we talk about this over and over again. Focus means that you're absolutely clear about what you're trying to accomplish. Focus means that you're absolutely clear about your key result areas and why you're on the payroll. We say that fuzzy focus leads to fuzzy results. Clear focus leads to clear results. And this means that you take the time to think. You take the time to think through, why am I on the payroll? What have I been hired to accomplish? What are my key result areas? What are my core functions? What are the 20% of the things that I do that account for 80% of my results, and so on? So the starting point in getting things done is focus and clarity. I call this it's like adjusting the camera all the time, so you keep your focus very, very clear. The fifth key to high productivity is concentration. Now, concentration is, in reality, where all the work in time management leads us to. It is the ability to concentrate 100% on one thing, setting priorities, the most important thing, and to stay with that single task until it's finished. Concentration means moving forward in a straight line toward the goals and objectives that you've clearly identified. It means concentrating without diversion or distraction. Focus and concentration. I believe in 25 years of research that the reasons for success and happiness in life are focus and concentration. The reasons for lack of success and unhappiness are lack of focus, lack of concentration. Which brings us to number 6, and that is task completion. Now, what we know about task completion is that not only is it the key to the future, not only is it the key to getting more and greater and better opportunities, but important task completion, doing something that's important to you and carrying it through and finishing it 100% at the end, is a source of energy, enthusiasm, and high self-esteem. Men and women who are working consistently on getting important things done and staying with it till they're complete are more positive, they're more optimistic, they're more self-confident, they have more belief in self-assurance in themselves, and they get more opportunities to complete more tasks. And here's the flip side, is completing low-priority tasks leads to stress. If you work and you get a lot of little things done, but they're not moving you toward the accomplishment of things that are really important to you, what happens is you just feel crummy as a result. So this brings us to number 7. Number 7 is the quality of perseverance. You need to persevere and persist single-mindedly toward the completion of your important task, because we say that the ability to concentrate is a discipline, and perseverance or persistence is self-discipline in action. You see, anybody can start off to do a job, but your ability to keep in there and keep slogging and stay with it and refuse to budge and keep moving is the critical factor of high performance. Principle number 8 in getting things done is remember that the average person, especially executives, pick up an important piece of paper or task as many as 5 times before they actually complete work on the task. What does this mean? It means that if you pick up the task and you focus single-mindedly on that and it's your most important and you concentrate on it till it's complete, you can give yourself a 500% savings in time or increase in productivity. This has been proven in study after study after study that the fastest way to increase your output is to pick up a task and to stay with that task instead of picking it up and coming back and picking it up and coming back and so on. Number 9 is the importance of developing a compulsion to closure. A compulsion to closure is a commitment before you begin that I will stay with this task until it's finished. You will put your head down and you will hammer and hammer and hammer until it's finished. And one of the ways to do this is to train yourself with a series of rewards. What we found over and over again is that really high-performing men and women are those who are capable of establishing a series of rewards for each milestone in the completion of a major task. And what they do is they trigger a conditioned response, almost like Pavlov's dog, where they fed them a piece of meat and the dog salivated and they rang a bell at the same time. And if they repeated this often enough, pretty soon when they rang the bell, the dog salivated. If you continue to set up a reward structure for yourself for the completion of small and large tasks, you know what happens? Is that you eventually salivate and get excited, motivated, and enthused when you're working on something that's important. Now, number 10 is to develop what is called an affirmation or a mental trick to keep yourself working. And the most powerful of all are the words, back to work. Whenever you find your attention drifting, say to yourself very strongly, back to work. Back to work. Somebody comes in and wants to talk to you, you say to that person, I'm sorry, but I have to get back to work. And your boss comes in, you say, boss, I'd like to spend a lot of time talking, but I have to get back to work. Get to be known as the person, little Mr. or Mrs. Back to Work. Because the thing is, when you keep repeating back to work, back to work, back to work, you program those words into your subconscious mind, and they actually activate and push you forward and get you back into the job rather than diverting your attention to doing something that's fun and easy. Now, the 11th key to getting things done is terribly important. It's called chunks of time. Is to do important tasks, especially the important tasks which are not particularly urgent, the tasks that can contribute the very most to your long-term future, you need chunks of unbroken, sustained time. Any decision involving other people requires a lot of time and thought and discussion. Any proposal, any report, learning any critical subject, gathering information requires chunks of time, minimum of 60 to 90-minute chunks of time. Now, successful men and women are those who structure their days so that they get these chunks of time. And in my experience, let me give you 4 ideas that you can use. Number 1 is come in early in the morning, or number 2 is to stay at home early in the morning. Get up at 5 or 6 and work for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. Come in early before anybody else. Work at lunchtime. When everybody goes out for lunch, the office becomes quiet, close your door, put your head down, and work. People in my office and people in other offices will often take do not disturb signs and hang them on the wall or hang them on their doors, and what they will say is do not disturb, and they'll take a quiet time of an hour to 2 hours in the morning and perhaps also in the afternoon. The next, probably the 5th chunk of time that you can get is stay after work and work for a couple of hours. Remember, 1 unbroken hour is worth 3 hours in a work environment with interruptions. So if you can break yourself 1-hour chunks here and there, you can dramatically increase your productivity. Number 12, develop the body language of high productivity. What we have found is that there is a certain physiology. In other words, if you sit up straight and erect and strong and clear-eyed and move forward on your chair and sit up to your desk with your back straight, It's very hard not to be productive. But if you lean back, if you slump down, if you put up your feet, you find your whole body relaxing too. So develop and maintain the body language or physiology of high performance. Number 13 key to getting things done is called single handling. Now, single handling is probably one of the most important time management techniques ever developed. It simply says that when you pick up a task, don't pick it up unless you're ready to stay with it and to work on it until it's finished. And once you pick it up, discipline yourself, force yourself to stay at that task and stay at that task and keep at it until the task is done. In fact, the studies show that you will increase your overall output and productivity by 50% the very day that you begin adamantly single-handling every single task. Single-handling comes from several studies. It is the ultimate expression of concentration in work, and it's absolutely outstanding. Number 14 is concentrate on those areas where superior performance will bring outstanding results. Concentrate on those areas where superior performance will bring outstanding results. Concentrate on those areas where you can really make a difference. Ask yourself this question: what can I, and only I, do that if done really well will make an extraordinary contribution? Ask yourself, what can I and only I do that if done really well will make an extraordinary contribution to my work, to my life, to my company, to my health, to my happiness, to my future, to my finances? But always concentrate on the one or two small areas where if you do a terrific job, it makes a tremendous difference. We say in marketing, fish for whales. If you're in marketing or sales, ask yourself, what customers, if we could get them, what sales, if we could get them, would make an extraordinary difference to the success of our companies. And concentrate on the whales, the areas of greatest opportunity and possibility in your work and personal life. The 15th key is concentration of power. Now, concentration of power is an expression that comes from military terms, and it also comes from time management. It's also called the principle of the mass. And what it says is that you take all of your resources and you put all your resources together and you concentrate them single-mindedly on a single point. In fact, you'll find that every extraordinary achievement in the history of mankind has come about as the result of an individual or group of individuals being able to concentrate their powers into the critical point where that makes all the difference. So concentration of power is a habit of mind. Where and in what way can you concentrate your power to achieve the very most? Number 16 is always concentrate on strengths. According to Peter Drucker's work on effectiveness, one of the top 5 management techniques for effectiveness is to concentrate on strengths rather than on weaknesses. Now, here's an important point, is you have, as an individual, specific strengths and potentials that if you develop them to their full extent, you can accomplish anything you want in life. You also have a lot of weaknesses. People are pits, mountains and valleys. People have a lot of weaknesses where there are things that they can't do particularly well. They also have peaks where there are things that they do extraordinarily well. So your first job is to look at yourself and say, what are my particular strengths? What are the strengths that I have where I can make the most significant contribution to my life? Then you ask, where can I make the most significant contribution to my company? Where can I make the most significant contribution to my family and to my long-term future? Then you say, what are the significant opportunities in my work environment? What are the significant opportunities for increasing revenues and decreasing costs? What are the significant strengths of other people? And how could those people be deployed usefully? There's a basic rule that says that a weakness is merely a strength inappropriately applied. Very often you're applying your strengths inappropriately too. Number 17 is set deadlines on everything that you have to do. Use deadlines as a forcing system. A forcing system is a way to push you from behind and internally to get the job done. And number 18 is to promise others. One of the ways that you can motivate yourself to concentrate single-mindedly on one thing at a time is once you've decided to do an important project and you've decided it's the most important of all projects, then write it down, make a plan for its accomplishment, and then promise the significant people in your life that you will have this job done on time by a certain day. You see, when you promise someone else, it sort of programs you subconsciously and impels you forward and makes you much more likely to concentrate and focus and become intensely result-oriented in everything you do.